What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we're reacting to the next part of the anime conspiracy to slander France. This is the part called The Evil of the Feet, otherwise known as France Established Exterminator Terminators. That's an interesting acronym. Like, why that specifically, I don't know, but it's going to be a thing. Last time was a recap. Today we're going to see what the whole conspiracy meant by slander to France. Now this part is going to be a long one. I'm not going to lie. About 24 minutes. So we might as well get started. But before that, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you do, hit the like button below. Hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when the video comes out. And yeah. If there's any videos I'd like to recommend that I should react to, put it down in the comment section below, and I'll react to it as soon as possible. But yeah. The link to this video is going to be down in the description below, so be sure to check that to see the original video. And be sure to give the theorizer some love and support for the video that they made that I'm reacting to. Other than that, let's get started, I guess. Let's see what this whole thing is about. Oh, God. That's gonna be some
Hello,
nightmare
I'm the theorizer. I like mystery, history, and long walks on the omniversal fabric. I also like roasting Lovecraftian demons on skewers, or so my meme desperation would imply. So we're currently at around the 5-hour and 15-minute mark of this Mort playlist, and things can finally get interesting-er. I'll have you know that I've reached the point of being, well, just speechless. Tenfold more than I was even in that alien cult video, because things are finally getting real. Commenters delivered a lot of nifty stuff, a lot of stuff I've been hinting at for this video, but a lot of stuff that has completely slipped my mind as well. There were even a couple things I didn't register until I found them autonomously, but for the key ones that go to commenters, I will credit it as such. Unfortunately, there were lots of repeat points, so I'm not sure who to credit with what and when. We'll see how the evidence plays out, but luckily most of this is just the culmination of my years of foreshadowing, because it once again appears as though I have stumbled upon something horrifying, and this time, something that permeates through all of DreamWorks. Time to explain myself. I have been referencing something, building to something. A freelance organization funded by the gods that seeks to suppress animal intelligence and, more importantly, the core of them all, the faceless being of destruction, Mort himself. This video is going to have far more offhand revelations than usual, which is to say that there will be many game-changing twists here that I will not dwell on, but hope you will wrap your head around as quickly as possible. So we can quickly start off with the gigantic titan snail that the Bell Gods worship. As it turns out, this crazy development from All Hail King Julian is explicitly connected to both Turbo and Monsters vs. Aliens, which is a revelation I exhumed in tandem with a viewer on Twitter. You see, last time I deemed Monsters vs. Aliens to be a critical chunk in the DreamWorks timeline, given how it displays the issues of forced evolution in humanity. It contains such important developments as the missing link, or the attempted creation of a sentient entity, or the mutation of insects, and Susan. The implication is that humans are on a sort of path, trying, intentionally and not, to force evolve themselves unnaturally, and the results are problematic. Beings like Dr. Cockroach doing what he does, failing like he fails. This is the Monsters vs. Aliens piece. The Turbo piece, however, is something we went into a bit deeper last time. In Turbo, the plotline is basically a French race car driver facing off against snails. The rise in animal intelligence is the snails, and he is the faceless organization's representative in said film. Pause quickly. I will hereby stop referring to this faceless organization as a faceless organization. For many months now on Twitter and on my second channel, and to myself, I have referred to them as what they are. The France established exterminator terminators. Why do I call them this? Because it's what they are, damn it. But it's a long title, so I've just been calling them by their acronym, FEET. Because they are Mort's weakness. Oh, my goosebumps have goosebumps. Have I outdone myself?
No, not really.
Alright, so Gigonye is a part of the FEET organization, very obviously, very clearly, and on Twitter, me and user at Doom4Zombies had an enlightening conversation about the nature of oxymoronic gastropods, and I'm not talking about Gary. Not today, anyway. There's something here. Do you see the connection? The French eat snails. This is a critical plot point seen everywhere, most notably in All Hail King Julian, where we discover that the world's most intelligent snails have departed to Madagascar so as to evade French cuisine. It's fascinatingly specific. Here's the big one, though. At the very end of Monsters vs. Aliens, we get another one of those pesky offhand comments. This time, it's from the General. The General's existence is identical to the idea of a secret international organization revolving around the assimilation of evolved humans. That's literally the plot of the film. His offhand comment, that's what gets me though. The General ends the movie by saying he needs the monsters on another mission already, and guess what that mission is? Taking down a giant snail named Escargantua. This is exactly like Jingle Jangle, and can you guess where this is happening? Can you possibly, for the life of you, guess where this giant, force-evolved, mutated snail is wreaking havoc? France. Nuclear mutation is also a subplot of All Hail King Julian in the episode where they mutate the mango into literally becoming a conscious Lovecraftian beast that absorbs people, and then they nuke it to pieces. Mutation, Lovecraft beast, mango. Just like the sky god fruits. All of these plot threads and a couple more are so entangled with every DreamWorks film that it's quite frightening, actually. So maybe we shouldn't be letting Madagascar off the hook so easy. Is there more to its core I've been missing, perhaps? As I determined in my traumatic viewing of All Hail King Julian, the sky gods are localized to Madagascar because of, most likely, Mort. There's little doubt in my mind that this is the case, of course. The fruits reign supreme over the sky gods' heaven because they are them. This was one of several conclusions during my original 6 Mort videos. They are keeping tabs and have pinned Mort here so as to gain the upper hand. A small leap in any other canon, but a graceful stepping stone here. I have great reason to believe that one of the main reasons Madagascar has evolved differently than the rest of the world, why it has profoundly unique wildlife, being the only place in the entire world to have lemurs in it, is because of the sky gods. I'm telling you, they're doing this. It's the way DreamWorks has unfolded the lore in their story. Clever as all hell, it roots back to Mort. As smart Mort is aware of the sky gods, Mort knows, and parts of him are unruly, hence this whole mess in the first place. Mordecus Khan, anyone? Suppression. But the big question, how do the French tie into all this? How does this organization that is so desperate to stop animal intelligence, how do they play into all this?
What does the French have to do with any of this? Like, you're bringing up points and connections, but now I'm curious on the one detail, the one fact that everyone keeps forgetting. What is, like, the connection between France? Like, what's the deal with France? Considering that the title to this whole video is The Animated Conspiracy to Slander France, what specifically here is targeted towards, well, France?
It's quite simple, really. If you haven't guessed, they are aligned with the sky gods. I'm certain. But now we know it must have even more weight than previously anticipated because we see humans in All Hail King Julian studying Mort. They rip him from his habitat and come back night after night, analyzing him. He is genetically anomalous, which is to say he is without a species, or rather, that Mort is every species at once, evenly distributing his intelligence so he can return to form with an army of his own, the entire animal kingdom. This is why they wear freaking hazmat suits for a tiny-ass mouse lemur. We've been over this. Scientists can't classify him, his genetics are alien. Mort states this in show. This is known. But now we're on the receiving end of the theorizing. This human angle. They're all tied in here just as hard, and if you don't believe me, get a load of Madagascar's official national language, French. Spoken only in tandem with the native language Malagasy, they speak French because Madagascar was colonized by France itself. And if you still don't believe me, get this. The penguins, who I determined to be on the forefront of this war for animal intelligence, end the third film by shipping the Feet Organization's very own lead general to Madagascar itself. Dubois in a box sent to the front lines. The snails and their exodus from enemy territory, jingle jangle the mutation angle, the linchpin is that every time humans rise up, there's an animal just waiting there to stop them, with utmost desperation and underhandedness. Each keeps the other in place, and they're so desperate, my god. One are physically powerful, one are mentally powerful, and the war is nested in the overlap. An overlap established and maintained by the true forces in this game, Mort and the Sky Gods. This is what I've been trying to say. The France-established exterminator terminators have been desensitized into believing that Mort is the ultimate threat. I bet they've been promised immortality. How do I know this? His name is Death, for he is Mort the Lemur. You were all hung up on the fact that he's the Grim Reaper, but not the fact that I keep repeating, which is that Mort means death in French. All Romance languages have a similar sounding origin word, so it has to be one of them, and while Latin is classically cooler sounding, we now know that not to be the case. I keep mentioning this, although thank you commenters for stating it even clearer, as many of you ended up independently concurring. They call him Mort, for he is death. The great Grim Reaper that claims them all, the promised evil. As for whether the Sky Gods can genuinely prescribe immortality, I do not know, I do not care. The Feet Organization seems to believe it with all their might. Let's not forget, of course, that Nana is also a part of all this, as it is her infamous link to Dubois that I was trying to figure out for 3 years following that video I made in 2018 on them. This is it. Nana is Russian, a recurring theme in the spin-off show, Oligarch Dolphins, anyone? Remember in part 1 when I said, speaking of the Soviet Union? This is it. The skills, the madness, the Nana. She's not explicitly French, which is why that video's whole purpose was to serve this link. Force evolved exterminator terminators is more like it, though I'd rather stick to the term I've got already, as I found the French connection to be far more critical here. So Madagascar as an island is also a crucial factor here. With that in mind, let's apply our newfound knowledge to the Shrek videos, where we find many candidates with similar motivations, traits, and pattern clicking. Lord Farquaad, for one, fits the bill in at least some ways. Once again, this was something I kind of was iffy on, but commenters, as usual, have bulldozed it into view. The top comment regarding this contained a reply that solidifies Farquaad even harder, as Duloc does seem indeed to be named after a former Quebec city, or in other words, French connection. But the main fact of the matter is that Farquaad's task is literally to eliminate highly evolved intelligent life, and we know that he's not the only purist in this series because the fairy godmother follows suit and has magic, supernatural forces granted to her by who exactly? Unclear. The gods, perhaps? This much we cannot know for certain, but if it is the case, then it's most certainly the baby stages of this whole conspiracy. Let's not forget one of my most insane videos, the Reggie one, which concluded that Merlin and the fairy godmother possibly have an intricate connection between them in the form of a musical meme cult designed to usurp the royals. A cult, you say, sounds kind of like the medieval beginnings of an organization. Remember how I said Robin Hood looked like Reggie and Farquaad? Robin Hood, the musical man who was so underhandedly desperate to eliminate Shrek, the intelligent evolved animal? Robin Hood, who they for some reason chose to make French. What? What? Oh no. This means Reggie blared his unbridled snark, as I put it, out of mockery from his disdain at an intelligent beast rising to power, not just because of the monarchy. Also, Charming did the exact same thing when he recruited villains in a cult of his own, one of whom was the evil queen who wanted to open up a spa in France. And did you sincerely think I forgot that insane Puss in Boots cameo in All Hail King Julian? No. How is this possible if not for the anomalous space and time I have now theorized this island of Madagascar to have? Barring Mort's own interdimensional hyperrealism stunt, this island is reaching and yanking the most intelligent medieval feline threat into its modern battles, similarly to how Reggie was granted a song from the future. And what is Puss in Boots doing here? Singing a song. Counter forces from the gods themselves. As it turns out, the sky gods also have distinct incarnations appearing in the Puss in Boots spin-off show, at least according to commenter Daniel Adams, who seems to be completely correct if Google is any indication. After reading even more of these comments on the Alien Cult video, I've been tempted to include Aardman Animation's films because the comment section was most filled with them above all else. You see, despite being claymation and very questionably canon, they are riddled
to the core with this shit. French frogs spiteful towards humanity and a literal secret underground society with intelligent snails? Check. Chicken Run is the distilled incarnation of my inverted linchpin? Double check. Also, by the way, thanks to 6 different commenters, it turns out that my lazy hunch was on point, as yes, the B-movie lawyer Montgomery also has a name rooted in French. So there's that connection. But speaking of that enigmatic part 17, don't think I forgot about said alien cult's alien role in all this. So now things are taken a step yet further. We get to the Megamind and Galaxar segments. The promise of a thumbnail 4 months past due. The key connection I was implying near the end of that video has reached its moment, and it's why I've added the Megamind theories to our playlist. Megamind himself is from a solar system with 3 planets, his, Metro Man's, and a mysterious 3rd planet that I deem to be minions. This could well and truly be false, because look at the obvious. We're going all out now, and Galaxar is on the table. Here we have a bluish alien with a massive head, whose planet was destroyed in a cataclysmic event of his own creation. Let's also not ignore the fact that Monsters vs. Aliens was released just 1 year before Megamind, and as I'm inclined to
like, okay, I can get that, but there's one big issue with that whole thing. The alien from Monster vs. Aliens and the alien from Megamind, who is Megamind, mind you, have one big thing that prevents them from being, like, totally connected. And that's the fact that, well, Megamind is, like, seems like a different species of so a completely different alien race, so there's no connection there. So, yeah.
say that Galaxar did this. But that's just how the Megamind planet theory ties in. Take a gander at my city theory, wherein the government meticulously subdues aliens so as to keep them fighting one another. Sound familiar? The humans aren't just facing animals, but aliens as well, as expected, I suppose. You see, in my Megamind city theory, I concluded that Metro Man quit upon the realization that he was being used. This is clear and obvious, and it's the city that is responsible. If you don't believe me that this is the case, then you've clearly forgotten about the result of his midlife crisis, an identity known as Music Man. Music Man. Random, right?
Wrong. The Sky God's very own musical meme feet cult teachings were instilled into him by this government that's known to be shady from the earliest possible age as a backup plan. How do I know this? Because we see it. He is encouraged to share his singing in the prison systems school, regardless of whether it's actually good or not. And I'm not even sure what to do with the fact that Metro Man and Farquaad look so similar that they've both been memed in the form of Markiplier. Like, it's absolutely insane how similarly they look, but that is much definitely coincidental, I'd say. The alien connection, however, is most certainly not. Aliens are an unforeseen red herring in the eyes of the Feet cult, and this is where Mort ties back in, being the supreme leader of all aliens and animals and anything organic and inhuman, basically. We can confirm this even harder using the massive revelation that I somehow forgot, but the comments certainly didn't, that being the fact that Home, a film about an alien invasion, has the aliens assimilating and setting up their headquarters in Paris. Stop doing this to me. Stop doing this to me. Stop it right now. I need to cut away from those alien connections before I absolutely lose it. Let's return to my happy place, the Madagascar films. The penguins fled to Monaco, right? They went undercover with the chimps as a rich human, right? So they could cheat the system and bankrupt their enemy from the inside. France. The penguins know things. The animals have their own organizations. Look no further than the North Wind itself. How is all of this coming together? How is this... How? I returned to these films to evade the stresses of Megamind and Galaxar. The penguins get ambushed by Alex and friends, which alerts lead commander Captain Dubois to their presence. As she explains, this is the moment she has been preparing for her entire life, as the Sky Gods have prepared her for this film. Mort's entire life story is tracked and monitored by the gods, and this is a huge blow to the Sky Gods. The big threat was discovered and prepared for, so what is this huge threat? Well, it's obvious. It's an all-animal circus that distracts the masses and dominates entertainment outside of all rules and regulations. Killing the catalyst, Alex, is her life's purpose, and her failure gets her sent to the front lines to be chewed up and spit out like an irrelevant rag doll. Literally chewed up, by the way, as she is sent as sacrificial food, and she knows it. Look at the sheer horror on her face when she reads Madagascar. And who put the nail in her coffin? Who finalized her defeat? Why, it was none other than the nail in everyone's coffin, the Grim Reaper himself. This is my point. The Sky Gods are banning death, Mort himself, but is it necessary? We see the lengths they go to, and Dubois willingly sees herself as Satan. It's amazing how everyone in Monaco just knows Dubois. She's famous, and all she is an animal control officer? No. She is the most important character in all of DreamWorks. She's so much more. Whereas a regular officer would be shocked and horrified by this monkey-operated plane vehicle, she expects it. She has no shock at the intelligence of animals because she has been preparing for it her entire life. And I'm thrilled because she's probably my favorite DreamWorks character. But here might be the wildest revelation of them all.
Okay.
Who does Julian send after Dubois when she's clinging to them? Mort. And then they cut her rope while she hangs hundreds of feet in the air, with Mort staring dead in her soul as she falls damn close to death. Look at that grin! Especially compared to Alex's regret. It's like he's the actual devil on his shoulder. Do it, Alex. Kill her, my child. She is a threat to my empire. To the nirvana of oblivion. I know this to be true. This mid-air situation here is Melman's dilemma, and Alex is the protagonist, so of course he's there, but this critical scene dwells on Mort as well. Why? Well, given that he is the protagonist of DreamWorks itself, he is just as primary. It's why Julian kicked him down there. Mort shows off his horrifying grin from All Hail King Julian, a show focused heavily on his creepy behavior. It was legitimately a freak coincidence that she fell in this pool, by the way. Alex had no visual behind him, let alone the ability to time this. It's why he showed such glum regret before slicing the rope. The pool is a literal deus ex machina from her gods. Don't believe that she's tied to the supernatural forces? How could you not? Do I need to remind you of the fact that she holds a plane back and can literally run through walls to the point where I made a video inconclusively calculating it? She's force evolved. Ever notice how she has the head of Alex, the limbs of Marty, the neck of Melman, and the ever-curvaceous bod of Gloria? Dubois, being a perfectly balanced absolute unit, has finally reached lore significance. It finally happened. Dubois has been preparing for this film's plot her entire life, and she is a literal perfect blend of animals. Just like Mort. A curvaceous counter-strike. For the love of God, the most unshakable proof I can give you that she's magically tethered to the gods is the scene where she literally sings, in French, mind you, and it magically heals all of her troops. They cry as they behold the beauty of the Sky God's prodigy, and it's fully French. This scene...
That is a bit weird, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that just seems very out of pocket. Is that the correct word to use here? Out of pocket? Well, it's abnormal, to say the least. But, yeah. It's weird. Very, very weird.
Comes out of left field, makes virtually no sense, has no reason to be included with such drama and profoundness, as if we've just witnessed a rebirth or something. Unless we legitimately have. This is yet another example of a musical cult. Don't tell me that French song is not a meme, because it's a prime example. It's a French classic, and this scene reeks of meme material. It's all French. Mort is the target, and he is death. He'll claim the souls of anyone he can. His own team was in a car, hanging over the edge of a damn roof, all terrified, and Mort's just delighted at the prospect of spirits for his collection. Look at that face! Dubois is an evolved, animalistic commander of the organization, and is the result of Sky God desperation so intense they've created Satan. We see the fire and horns and maybe even the tail during her introduction, and it's possible she has recruited other redheads like Alice. We know she's a step up from law enforcement because she calls the policemen stupid bozos as opposed to her being a step down, like your typical animal control officer. And again, she's bizarrely famous in Monaco. It's her territory, and the monkeys themselves state that French labor laws are different from the rest of the world. I will repeat once more that Alice of the Central Park Zoo is directly tied in here, as she literally calls in secret agencies to suppress the penguins. Officer X is a part of this, thank you to many commenters. The Penguins of Madagascar alone borders on canonizing half my claims because its whole focus is animal intelligence up close and personal with aggressive humans out to get them. The Central Park Zoo is a feet outpost, which is exactly why Dubois is so comfortable killing there. But each member has their own place. Some know more than others. Mort is merely the overarching goal, whether one member or another knows it or not. They only have one focus, and it's their own desperation. As Montgomery himself says, following his assault on animal intelligence,
"This is an unholy perversion of the balance of nature, Vince."
By the way, I haven't forgotten about the Verminator Terminator Dwayne LaFontaine himself. This guy, of course, has the same tracking abilities as Dubois, but he somehow has access to a weapon so powerful, and he employs it so nonchalantly. It has the ability to create what equates to a supernova that breaks the laws of luminous flux, and there's a reason we get a view of it from outer space itself, the territory of the gods demanding it. This is a supernova blast designed to kill an elder god. Obviously, with Over the Hedge being our original lightbulb moment, we also know all about the suburbs suppressing the forest animals, blah 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 blah, but I would like to highlight that Hammy is granted supernatural powers upon drinking the soda, and considering he's directly an enemy of the feet, and considering he's also a small rodent-esque animal, I think we might at least have one more semi-solid link between Mort and animal intelligence. This all, of course, just goes to show how expendable the feet are in the eyes of their own gods, like how Dubois was abandoned after her failure and left as sacrificial food. Lastly, in this insane video, is the one that seems to be important but refuses to fit cleanly. Kung Fu Panda is all about balance. We discussed previously how it quickly becomes clear upon any amount of theorizing that it must take place in a world without humans, implying post-humans. This is because, again, they use human technology and skills, Kung Fu for example, but it's far more supernatural in nature, and they all speak English in China. If this ties in like I assume it does, then it would imply this is the fallout of some cataclysmic decimation of humanity, the Great Reaping. I don't have nearly as much evidence for this, but I know it's somewhat important, so I'm absolutely going to keep it all in mind. Give me evidence from the Kung Fu Panda TV show. I remember getting a comment on a Kung Fu Panda video a while back, like in 2016, saying that Vern from Over the Hedge is actually Oogway, but I can't possibly comment on whether or not that's the case. I mean, I suppose it's sensible, given that Oogway created Kung Fu and the New World Order, and Over the Hedge's ending indicates that Vern is a key player in the uprising, but what I can say is that if you have anything to say about any DreamWorks show or films, comment it now. And more specifically, if you have anything from the Penguins of Madagascar TV show that you think can tie into all this, then comment it absolutely, because this just got so much bigger. The big one that you don't have to mention, though, is Vincent, who we saw in the Bee movie. As a victim of the feet, he was included in the Bee trial to defeat humanity. But that's likely just the cherry on top of a remarkably solid foundation anyways. Also, many people have asked me over the years, as I have promised over the years, to discuss how Lord Farquaad's ghost works. This is how. As a prime founder of the feet, he is granted supernatural life extension. Absolute answer. And who kills him? Who has the power to break his spirit? Why, an intelligent beast, of course. Also, finally looping back to where we started, the Monsters vs. Aliens general claims to be 90 years old. Life extension. And now he's the advisor to President Hathaway. So we're not close to done, obviously. There aren't even like half the DreamWorks films here, and there's still so much more depth to go into here.
Okay, so admittedly, that was a bit to process. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it went over my head. But I can say it was an interesting detail. So, my basic summary on what was just said was that there was an organization made from the sky gods. This organization is what leads to a lot of the stuff that we have seen, and this organization basically goes above and beyond just to eliminate Mort or any other beings that probably are a part of Mort, and or just like has high intelligence like Mort, viewing them as a risk factor. Yes, I think that would be the correct term, a risk factor. And they go out of their way to eliminate said beings. So, yes, I think I summed it up pretty well. That's, at least I think I did. I'm hoping I did. But yeah, that's an interesting detail. And I can admit that it does lead to some ideas and conclusions on how things are going to go and all that. So I'm going to admit, I'm a bit curious to see how this is going to go in the end. And considering that the next part is basically talking about Shrek lore, that's going to be even more interesting, I suppose. So, yeah, I guess we're going to see how this all goes together. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this reaction video. If you did, hit the like button below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when your video comes out. And yeah, everything seems pretty self-explanatory right here. Like, what's going on, what to expect, all that other good stuff. It seems like it's out right there in the open for us to understand. And yeah, that's all I can really say about that. I thought there'd be more to talk about, in all honesty, but I guess not. It's weird. I thought there would be a lot more to discuss or something like that, but I guess not. It's weird. It's really weird. So, I hope you all enjoy. Be sure to give the theorizers some love and support for the video that they made. And other than that, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.